Hi, I'm Jess Book, head swimming coach at Kenyon College. This is my 15th year in this position. I also had 4 years here as an assistant and 4 years here as a student. But happy to be at Kenyon, happy to kick off the 2024-2025 competitive season. Yeah, it's an interesting pursuit every year. I think that we really try to build teams that are competitive at the end. One of the things about our sport, and others too, but ours especially, is we don't really know where we're going to be for quite a while. And so this team, even more so than the last few years, is going to be a team that is developing over the course of the season. We're going to get to know who our freshmen are, get to know where our strengths are. We're going to see our relays shift around a lot this year. So I'm not sure where we're going to land, but I know we're going to be exciting at the end. And that's the thing that's most exciting to me as a team. So to answer the question, the big things we do right now are about team building. They're about culture building. They're about habit building, getting ourselves in the right place to be the best team we can be when March gets here. Yeah, last year's senior class was tremendous. They really came a long ways over the course of their 4 years. That was a class that was really brought to Kenyon during the COVID times, and so there was a lot of growth we saw in them, both as athletes but as people as well during that time. And I was happy to see both those men and those women go out on a high note at the end of the season at NCAAs last year. So we will miss them tremendously. They gave us a lot of leadership in the water and out of the water and showed us a lot of resiliency along the way as well. On the exciting side, on the men's team, we have 15 incoming swimmers this year, which is exactly what we were looking for in an incoming class. Graduating a very large senior class, having 2 smaller classes as sophomores and juniors, we wanted a really big freshman class, and we've got one. And this is a group of guys that are very exciting. They're from all over the country, out of the country as well. They bring a lot of dynamicism to the team. They're going to fill some holes that we had, but they're going to be a lot of fun. I like the personalities especially, and I think they're going to build a really core culture on this team that is something we're going to see really blossom over the next 3 to 4 years. Yeah, relays are always a priority. It's a priority because it's the best example of us as a team. We get to be 4 people coming together and doing something special for one another and ultimately for the team. So relays are always really important to me and important to our team. And last year was special. I think last year's 400 medley relay that won the national championship, broke the national record, was a great story. It was a great moment, it was a great swim, but it was a great story, and that's something that we talked about in one of our very first team meetings this year. So our relays are really important to us. It'll be fun to see them continue to evolve and develop this year. Graduating that incredible senior class last year, we've got a lot of openings and opportunities on our relays this year. And we start off our first meet this weekend, our relay meet, and we're going to be putting together some very new relays, including, at least in one case, an A relay for our men that is all freshmen. And so we'll see what that looks like. I certainly expect it to change and develop over the season, but it's fun to get started with that, and relays are hugely important to us. We've got a great staff. I'm very happy with the staff we have here. We have 3 swimming coaches, a diving coach, all of whom have coached at the highest level, Division I level, and been very successful where they've been. So I'm very confident in who we are. We've got people that are very passionate, people that are very athlete-driven, people who are very much teachers as well as coaches, and I love seeing them do what they do out on the pool deck. It also gives us as a staff the freedom to be even more specific and even more thoughtful and even more intentional in the work that we do in the water. When we have such high capability people, we can trust them to do some things that are a little bit more nuanced and a little bit more different. And it's been great to learn alongside them as well. I always love learning with the coaches that we have on staff here. Our new coach is Jason Glorious, new diving coach. He's done a fantastic job. Exciting to see him start to develop his program and what his diving group will look like as part of our team, but I feel good about that one as well. The season is just getting started. So our season is a long one. We start competing here in October. We finish competing at the end of March with the NCAA championships, and there are different phases to how we go through things. This phase is mostly about getting back into rhythms, getting back into competitive mindsets, getting back into the habits it takes to be champions. And so we get started this weekend with our relay meet that kicks off the season for us. The fall is a little bit more short and fast. We'll compete in a few dual meets. We'll have a meet that we host here right before Thanksgiving called the Total Performance Invite. That's a big competitive meet. I think we have 7 teams coming this year, 6 or 7 teams, a mixture of Division II, Division III teams, teams that will have representation at the national championships as well. So it's a nice competitive meet. It's also a really nice time for us to compete against some people we don't see very often, which I like quite a bit as well. But that meet is as much a barometer as anything else. It's just taking the temperature on where we are. It doesn't predict anything. It just shows us how our team is starting to come together and where our areas of strength might be, but also some areas we need to continue to develop. And so first semester is really laying the groundwork. It's doing the work in the water, doing the work in the classroom, doing the work out of the water to be ready to do the things we need to do second semester. So we build up through our first semester meet before Thanksgiving. We have the week of Thanksgiving off. The week after Thanksgiving, we are tentatively going to go to the US Open in Greensboro. It's a meet that is hosted by USA Swimming. And so it's going to take qualification standards that are higher level USA Swimming standards, but we have several athletes that have those standards, and we are at least tentatively planning on going to that meet. So we'll take a group to the US Open, and then mid-year, after the winter holidays, we meet down in Florida for a winter training camp. I pause on that because that's totally up in the air, to be totally honest with you. With Hurricane Helene and Milton going through the area, we're a little bit unsure what that looks like this year, but we will have a training camp in some capacity mid-year, hopefully in Florida. If not, we'll look for another space, and that's another place for us to kind of reset our season, reset our focus for the end. And from there, we punch back into dual meets. We'll compete against Miami of Ohio during that time, which will be a lot of fun, a competitive meet for us. Then we'll go to the conference championships in February, which is a 3+ day meet, super competitive, very fast, very fun. The whole team's there competing at the highest level. It'll come down to just a few points out of thousands of points over 3+ days, so very exciting. And from there, we turn our attention towards the NCAA championships. We have one meet between the conference championships and NCAAs. That is what we call our last chance or fast chance meet. It's a chance for people to continue to improve upon times and give themselves an even better opportunity to qualify for NCAAs. But then the focal meet at the very end is the NCAA championships. The third week of March, I don't have the exact dates in my head this year. They're in Greensboro, North Carolina again this year. And we'll be there. We'll be there. We'll be competing, as we talked about earlier. I can't yet predict what our finishing place will be, but I can say that we're going to be excited to compete and represent Kenyon once we get there.